Take a moment to think about a time when you felt included in your organization. What was the impact that had on your personal and your professional life? Now, when you think about the individuals that contributed to that sense of inclusion, what are some of the things that stand out about them? The way they work, the way they collaborate, the way they are, and how they show up with others. Hello, I am Sienna J. Brown, Senior Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging here at Power to Fly, and I'm so excited to share with you what intentional inclusion is, why it matters, and how you can implement it in the workplace. Let's dive in. Let's start with definitions. Intentional inclusion means deliberately ensuring that everyone feels respected, supported, and valued to show up to places as their authentic selves. This is a subcomponent of the I, inclusion, in DEIB. The key concept here, though, is intention. Making the extra effort to center inclusion and a sense of belonging can literally change lives. Now that we understand what intentional inclusion is, let's talk about why it's important at work. First, it can help create a more productive as well as a more creative workplace. When people feel like they belong and that they are valued, they are more likely to engage in their work and to come up with new and innovative ideas. Second, intentional inclusion can help to attract and retain top talent. We all know that in today's competitive marketplace, employees are looking for companies that center diversity and inclusion. So this is where intentionality leans in. Third, intentional inclusion can also help to raise the company's bottom line. Studies have shown that companies with more diverse workforces are more profitable. Now, intentional inclusion is also helpful in our personal lives. It is pivotal in helping individuals reshape narratives that they've been led to believe about themselves, their impact, and even their value in the workplace. Think about it. If you've worked in toxic environments but moved to one where you're valued, included, and respected, that can cause quite a paradigm shift. You see, intentionally including folks help them to feel a sense of belonging. And belonging is the key to being able to realize your full potential. My background is in psychology, and I love studying the why behind this by referencing Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This illustration includes 5 levels of human needs that allow an individual to reach their full potential. In order to reach self-actualization or live up to your greatest potential, all of your basic needs have to be met, and that includes belonging. As a leader, I know that the more inclusive my workplace is, the more I can help employees meet their needs and get closer to self-actualization. I also know the impact that it will help me on my journey to reaching self-actualization as well. So, how do we foster intentional inclusion? First, it's important to gain a deep understanding of your employees' identities and how intersectionality guides what they most need. One way to do this could be creating an inclusive demographic data survey to understand what identities are present and also what identities are underrepresented within your workplace or organization. Second, learn more about power and privilege. Some people have more power and privilege than others because of their identities, experiences, and positions. You can understand these dynamics by referencing the social identity wheel, learning more about privilege and power, and understanding how your bias might show up in your day-to-day life. Third is centering psychological safety and well-being in your company's values, as well as within your company's team dynamics. Prioritizing transparent communication, reframing mistakes into learning opportunities, and asking what it is that your teammates actually need to feel included are great places to start. And finally, even if you mean well, your actions may have unintended consequences. So it is important to focus on not just your intention, but also the impact of your action. But let's be honest, we are all human and we're going to make mistakes. When you're able to own and apologize for any harm you might cause, goes an extremely long way in making amends. Remember, the journey to intentional inclusion is a marathon, not a sprint. Thank you for joining me to explore the concept of intentional inclusion, the potential benefits that it can bring, and then also learning how you can foster intentional inclusion today. Make sure that you check out the resources below for additional information as well as continue learning. See you soon.